what you're trying to tell me is absolutely bizarre. They were asked to write codes, programming codes on a sheet of paper.
The programming is usually done in a laptop or a computer. So that's how programming works. It's a machine language, but they wanted it to be writing it down in a pen and paper. It's almost like a digital company going analog and going almost 10 years back or 20 years back behind the timeline. There is no relation to the exam, result, skill, or anything in this resignation letter. If employees resign themselves, there won't be any legal questions asked. Whenever a company wants to terminate, they use this as a mechanism to threaten employees, to create a fear and to create lies. So nobody can blacklist anybody, nobody can give negative marks or negative remarks on the background verification. It's all lie. But the commonality of all these threatening is, I will spoil your livelihood, I will spoil your career.
Hello and welcome to the News Minute. For the past few weeks, we have been hearing how global companies have announced layoffs and employees are being asked to go home. Even that trend is being followed in India as well. Some of the companies have announced layoffs. In one such case, Unite, an organization for IT employees, has claimed that at least 400 employees of a private IT company based out of Chennai have been asked to go home based on a written examination that they have given. How bizarre is that? A written examination where employees were asked to come to office and they were given a pen and paper and they were asked to write coding on a piece of paper. And based on the performance, they have been asked to go home. So that's the claim that Unite has made. To talk about this issue, I have with me Welkin, the General Secretary of Union for IT Employees. Thank you, Welkin, for joining us. There are at least two companies which have now announced their announced layoffs in the recent past. What exactly is happening?
We are starting to see the impact of US and UK economic slowdowns in India. So far, product-based companies were announcing retrenchments, and now we are also hearing for the last 2 weeks, a lot of companies, mid-size and MNCs as well, they are starting to illegally retrench employees, and they are using many ways to do that. And what we see is primarily people who are working or who are in bench are being laid off. And they are forced to, the HRs are being forcing the employees to resign. And the latest count seems to be around 400 plus people are resigned because of this forced resignation tactics across India in a single company called Vypro. We are also hearing a lot of other companies like ITES, HCL, Wipro, Infosys are now doing this or completed this layoff few weeks back or in the last 2 months in various forms like moonlighting, multiple PF entries. So the initial set of people who are not required for the core business are being retrenched is what the common pattern we are seeing right now.
Okay, so you must have been dealing with these cases. So what exactly happens in each company? Like, for example, you were talking about Virtusa. What exactly happened in that case? You said at least 400 employees have been laid off from that company. So you have been talking to those people. So what are they saying?
These 400 people, first we think that this is the first batch which is retrenching right now. And these people were in bench. They are working in Vypro for almost more than a year right now, and they have all capabilities in terms of skill, because all employees were recruited post an interview, multiple levels of interview, and they are there in the Vypro for almost a year. They were given tasks. They were given reskilling opportunities. They were skilled. These employees, even after 1 year, giving all the training opportunities, which was calling for one more test on November 28th. And after the test, they gave the test with an paper and pen. It's almost like a digital company going analog and going almost 10 years back or 20 years back behind the timeline to conduct a test. Nowadays, you have all kind of mechanism available as a platform in which can be accessed through browser. but these companies purposefully made the employees who are in bench to come to Chennai and write a physical exam with pen and paper. They have
Okay.
not
What
given.
what you're trying to tell me is absolutely bizarre. A digital company, a company that deals with software, is asking its employees to come to their office physically and write an exam on a pen and paper. And what kind of exam is this?
They have not given any indication of what would be the subject of it. But when the employees attended it, they came to know that it is full of theory and a mix of programming. So the programming is usually done in a laptop or a computer. So that's how programming works. It's a machine language, but they wanted it to be writing it down in a pen and paper. So with the exercise, we were the employees were hesitant of it. They protested about that, but the company told no, it is mandatory to take these tests. If not, they will take severe action like firing. But even the people who had taken these exams, they have given results as if it is 100% failure. All the people who have written exams are now failed in the exam, and the HRs are coming back to them and saying, see, you have failed this exam, so it's better you leave the organization yourself to safeguard your career, because we are protecting your career, so you need to leave the organization by resignation. Otherwise we will terminate you, we will black mark you, and we will spoil your career by giving black marks or negative review in the background verification when you go to next job. So
Okay.
that is how.
What essentially has happened is these employees were asked to come to office. They were asked to write codes, programming codes on a
Paper.
on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, right.
And how is that even possible to write codes on paper?
Now, when you logically want to assess the skill of an employee, there are mechanisms to do that. You can review the code they have written, and you can conduct an online test with the tool which can actually assess an employee's skill on the programming basis. There are multiple available, and all these MNCs are having that. But when you want to give an eyewash exam, this is how you do it. You give a pen and paper. You don't give them any idea what they are about to have, what is the subject of the scope of the exam, and without even giving an answer sheet, they are coming up with an result saying
With the
that everybody
results.
failed. Yeah, and the results are 100% failure.
Okay, were these employees informed that there will be a test, when they arrive at the office?
Yeah, they were informed, but on and it was made mandatory so that everybody traveled. They were on work from home, so everybody traveled. Everybody thought that after this exam, this is a client. They thought that this might be a client verification for them to be on board to a project, but it turned out to be a mechanism to retrench. They
Okay.
know that. Yeah.
So you told me that they were forced to resign. So what exactly is the order that is coming in from the HRs?
This forced resignation is the typical exercise IT MNCs are doing when they start their retrenchment process. So, in legal terms, if a company has to retrench a set of employees, so it has to get permission from from the concerned labor department. There are certain guidelines, like they need to send out the newest joinee first, and if they recruit, they need to give priority to the people they have retrenched. But these companies do not follow any of these procedure, because they can't justify this to government. So what they do, they make the employees resign themselves. So that's the strategy they take. If employees resign themselves, there won't be any legal questions asked, because it's at will the employees are resigning from the organization. So to do that, what these companies are doing is they're calling up these employees on a random day. There's no prior information on that. They'll just like that call, and they are making the employees to attend the Teams app. Through Teams app, their Microsoft Teams, they are calling, so that nobody can record it. There's no evidence of it. And once the employees join the call, they are making sure nobody's in the room. They're telling, if anybody is in the room, they're telling them to go out of the room, and they're making the employees to show the camera around the room to make sure nobody is there, nobody is witnessing what they're doing. And soon after that, they're giving the information about this test result. When employees ask cross question on how the mark is made, or give me the answer sheet, because I'm confident that I'm capable of doing 100% or 80%. But you're saying I'm getting only 2% or 3%, which is irrational. Give me the answer sheet. I like to verify my answers. But they deny that, and they straight away go to resignation part, where they say, see, your mark is so poor, we have given enough chances, so you need to resign now. Otherwise, we will terminate you. And if we terminate, your career will be spoiled. We will make sure you get negative impression on the background verification, and we will also black mark on the national skill registry, so you will never get a job. So this is the typical forced resignation tactics of HRs being followed in the IT company.
Okay. So what exactly are the reasons that are cited by the employees? Like what reasons are they asked to cite when they resign?
Personal reasons. So earlier they started saying that, so they spelled out the resignation letter as well. So they will ask the employees to type the letter when they are on the call. They will tell them to share the screen, and they will dictate them word by word. So the common template we see is, due to my personal reasons, I would like to resign from the job. So there is no relation to the exam result, skill, or anything in this resignation letter. So it's a clear, blatant attempt to make employees resign so that they will get out of this retrenchment, illegal retrenchment tactics.
Okay. I also read your statement that was issued by Unite, in which you say that the employees are being threatened and they're being blackmailed on various grounds. For example, black marking them on the National Skill Registry, complication of, relieving formalities, that they will make things difficult for the employees, lying on their background verification calls, and guilt tripping these employees. So uh, so what exactly happens when an IT company black marks you on the National Skill Registry?
The fact is, nobody can blacklist anybody. So it's
Mhm.
against Indian constitution. But the labor laws, or the introduction of labor laws or rights, were not being done to engineering students, or any students for the matter, in our education system, in schools or colleges. Because of that, we have kept ignorant on the labor law and rights. But whenever an employee goes to a company, joins a company, the first thing they do is to sign a legal document. So an employee will not know what are the implications of the clauses in their the employment agreement. So whatever written in that, they assume that the supreme authority is the company. So because of which, and feudal mindset is being created between the employees through this. And because of that, whenever a company wants to terminate, they use this as a mechanism to threaten employees, to create a fear, and to create lies. So nobody can blacklist anybody, nobody can give negative marks or negative remarks on the background verification. It's all lie. But the commonality of all these threatening is, I will spoil your livelihood, I will spoil your career. So my life and my family life, my EMI, my health conditions, my health bills, education bills, it's all dependent on that. Because of which, I have naturally will have the fear. So unless they have introduced to labor law, it is too difficult to face these threats.
Okay. So what happens now if a person receives a call from their HR? What should they do? Because I saw you have been running a campaign saying refuse to resign. But is that even possible?
People are doing it. So we are being running the campaign for last 2 days, and it's almost third day of the illegal retrenchment happening in Vichusa. So people have started saying no to the forced resignation. So now HR is also part of the groups we are running. So every day, every night, we are running meetings, stand-up meetings, to give to clarify employees' question and answers, and HR is also joining in that. So they also learn the tactics we are informing to the employees. But the single most point to do is to refuse to resign, no matter what can be the reason. Nobody can come to you and say, nobody can say an employee that you have done a mistake and you need to resign. So a company, by legal framework, should follow natural justice principles. They need to inform you that you have done a mistake. They need to ask for an explanation to you, and there should be a dialogue between the employer and the employee, why a certain mistake has happened, how to rectify that.
Okay.
Nobody can take a termination.
But in most of the cases, what happens is your performance is being cited. They say that you're underperforming, your performance is not good, and this is the reason why we are terminating you. So what happens in that case?
There is a the concept of merit and performance is being promoted in a huge way by the HRs and the IT industry, because performance appraisal is what, or the performance appraisal metric is what used to terminate most of the employees in retrenchment. So the performance appraisal process itself is opaque, it's biased, it has all kind of social discriminations in it. So as it is subjective. That's the core point. It is subjective and non-transparent, because of which any metric can be used to send you out. But at the end of the day, it is communicated to the media and to the people that they are non-performers.
Okay.
But the mechanism and the method to which you arrive to the non-performer is opaque, is non-transparent, and it is discriminative in nature. So that is why.
What happens if an employee refuses to resign? Does he have the option of approaching courts or labor commissioner? What exactly happens in that case? Like, you know, there'll be a lot of pressure on a particular employee to resign, and if the employee says, okay, I'll resign, then he loses the right to contest. Or what happens in this case?
Now, one, if an employee refuses to resign, they can file a complaint with the labor commissioner, local labor commissioner, saying that they are being threatened to resign, which will, if they file the petition, as per the law, their job is protected till it comes to a conclusion by in or before the labor commissioner, as per the legal framework. So that's the first and foremost they have to do. If they resigned, that again can be challenged by reaching to the labor commissioner, giving a written complaint saying that my employment was terminated through forced resignation, so I would like to revoke my resignation, kindly intervene and consider this as an illegal termination. So under Industrial Dispute Act section 2A, this can be challenged and the termination or the resignation can be revoked.
So there are possible avenues where an employee can contest, or if he is forced to resign, there are avenues that he can, fight that. But what happens in cases where you have no other option, you are under constant pressure, and what happens in those cases?
No, that's
Like
unfortunately.
even after the company says that, okay, we are not going to give you a job, you have to resign. But after that, it becomes unpleasant for the person to work in that company, right?
No, unfortunately, yes, that's the situation most of the employees are facing right now. So, if a company doesn't want a set of employees to be part of them, then the humane way to do is to look for a better opportunity. There are mechanisms to get a consultant who can give them a better job. So, till a new job is approved or new job is guaranteed, they should support financially for the employees. So that would be the humane way to send an employee out of an organization, because we all know it's a recession period, and most of the companies have frozen their recruitment in IT. And when you send out an employee with 40 days of salary, what will they do if they take 6 months of time to get a job, or 1 year? So it's completely uncertain times, and throwing them out at this point is so inhumane.
Okay, like you said, it's uncertain times. So what can the government do now? Like you told me that you also visited the labor commissioner office earlier in the day. So what is that you are hearing from the labor commissioner, from the labor department? What are they saying about it? Are they aware that something like this is happening in their backyard?
No, they're not aware. So that's the most problematic aspect of it. So we have to manually go and give them a formal letter of complaint against Vichusa and all other companies as well. We have given multiple complaints today. So the based on the complaint, the assistant labor commissioner has guaranteed that she would forward it to the right department, and they would inquire. They will call the company management and inquire about it. If anything similar as what we have quoted in the complaint was happening, they will immediately intervene and stop that. But it is all reactive. and they need an external factor like union to come and react, which is not what we expect. They are the enforcing authority of law of land. They should enforce this, they should monitor this, and they should make sure this will not happen without their knowledge. But almost all the companies are announcing it in news and then doing it without any fear of repercussion. So the enforcing authority is so slow, or they are not active in enforcing the law of land, which is making these companies doing it again and again, because this exam pattern is not something new, it's not innovative. Before that, L&T was doing that few years back, Wipro was doing that. This is a common practice, so they should have come up with a mechanism to address this, but till now there's no mechanism to address this. Only when a retrenchment happen, only after people are affected, only when people feel the heat on their family financial constraint, the labor department starts to act. But we have to wait and see what they are about to do. We are hoping that they would stop this retrenchment and put a meaningful fine, or take legal action against this company for doing this.
Okay, like you said, there's lots that is happening. But as far as employees are concerned, if someone is watching this interview, uh, what would you like to say to an IT employee? Because you are part of a union, so you know the laws, you have been handling these issues for a long time. So, what is the request that you want to, what is the message that you want to send across at this point in time?
So the first and the important point we want to send across at this period is, see, the economic recession is not something unique to certain industries. It is going to impact us in a bad way, and internationally monetary fund and all other indications shows that it is going to worst a lot in this next 6 months. So we have to brace ourselves, we need to be prepared, and preparing for next job is not preparation. Preparing to fight this illegal retrenchment is the preparation we propose. Because see, these companies, the companies who are retrenching, especially IT companies, they are not at loss at all. Every company in the quarterly report, they are showing at least hundreds of crores of revenue post their tax exceptions, all expenses. So they have money, they can retain us, they can give us job, they can look for better, they can deploy us in better project, but only for cost cutting to maintain profit margin, these companies are doing that, which is illegal and unethical. So we should know the law of land, we should understand the labor laws, and we should start organizing as a group. So only collective bargain will help us in this situation. So we are union, a registered union with the government for last 5 years. So approach us, we will able to help you, and we can guide you on how to read labor laws and how to confidently say no to the HRs who are threatening you with empty threats.
Right, Welkin. Thank you so much for talking to us. The News Minute will be closely following the story, and we will come back to you on the other developments as well, as far as laying off in IT sector is concerned, because this is something which is very serious, which is going to have a huge impact for thousands of people. And News Minute will be closely following the story. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabbir.